Hey, LeAnne with the Expert Real Estate Team. Thank you so much for watching the February update or market update. And I actually have a guest with me today. This is my son, Colt Justice. He is actually here for job shadowing today. So he gets to see what Mama's doing. He cannot believe that I've got a YouTube channel. So anyway, Mama's cool. She's got a YouTube channel. So what we're doing today is going over some slides. And in the past, you've seen me go over these slides. And I love these slides because it gives us a 1,000-foot, 10,000-foot view of what's going on in the real estate market. And then it'll drill it down into statewide. And then it's up to me and the agents here at the Expert Real Estate Team to drill it down locally for you to give you that education, because that helps you make better decisions when you are a better educated buyer or seller. So you may have been reading this when I've been talking. So the recession, they were all in a tither about this recession that was supposedly coming. But things were better than they expected. Now they have knocked down their prediction down to about a 20% chance of us having a recession. And remember from one of my last videos, a recession is just 2 or more quarters of the market slowing down. So it's not like all the housing market's going to fall apart. So don't flip out about that. So let's see, the next slide I want to go over with you guys, slide 4. Housing remains solid, on a solid foundation going into 2020, so things are good if you are in the market to buy or sell. They expect mortgage rates to remain low in 20 and 21, which is encouraging. Here's the biggest problem. This is the biggest problem in real estate right now, and if you are thinking about selling your property, think about this: inventory shortage. So, supply and demand I never really thought about it, but if you're thinking of buying or selling a home and you're in the market, you need to know about it, because if you're a seller and inventory's low, that means prices are going up. If you're a buyer and inventory's low, then that means you got to have your ducks in a row to be competitive with other buyers that are out there, and then be ready to pull the trigger when the house comes on the market. So it's a little more competitive as a buyer these days. And at the very end of this, we're going to go over absorption rates for our local market. And I'll tell you if you can be, depending on your price point, if you can be uppity if you're a seller, or uppity if you're a buyer, because depending on your price point, may depend on how uppity you can be when it comes to making that offer. So that's one thing to think about. Let's see, slide 15. This is something, if you're thinking about selling your home, do not wait until March. That's the mentality that everyone's had for the last 20 years. March, April, May is when the spring market, everybody puts their home on the market. But what they're finding is buyers are starting their search sooner. So again, if you're thinking of selling your home, call us today so we can get that ball rolling, because there are buyers out there. So, and they want your house. So we want them to have your house. Let's see, slide 16 helps drive that home. Basically, showing time is they set appointments for realtors, and they do all their analytics. So they make life real easy for realtors. Home prices are going up over 5%. So that's kind of what they're anticipating there. Family wealth. Everybody wants their family to be wealthy. One great way to do it is to own a home. So if you are renting, you are buying somebody else a home. So if you're thinking about being a buyer, let's get you on that path to home ownership and start building wealth for your family. And that's the great way to do it. So slide 24. I think this is just interesting. So folks, 18 to 34 tend to buy up more than 35 to 44 and 45 to 54. Now, I would imagine if we looked past 54, things probably start to go down as seniors are starting to simplify. You know, as spouses may pass away, as life changes happen, they may start to back off a little bit. But, you know, as you're getting older and your family's growing, you need a bigger house. So that's just common sense. Let's see, slide 36. Average days on market. Let's move me over here. Average days on market in South Carolina right now are 31 to 45. Oklahoma, Montana, Vermont, and Rhode Island are a little slower. Alaska's slower. So just depending on where you are, just kind of gives you some perspective. 47, slide 47. The phone's over here buzzing at me. Everybody wants to get a good deal. There's nobody out there who doesn't want to get a good deal on a house. I can tell you that every day we get calls from folks. Normally they're through Zillow that will call, you know, wanting a foreclosure or a short sale. I'm just here to educate you that that's down to about 2% of what our inventory is. So because all of that has gotten absorbed and there's not as many coming into the market seller-wise or foreclosure-wise as there had been. So we are here to get you the best deal that we can in the market that we've got. But I can tell you that short sales and foreclosures are down to about 2% of our inventory. So I like to educate buyers about that. Year over year forecasted change in price. So they are anticipating South Carolina to see a 5.5% increase in prices. For instance, in California, they're seeing a 9.4% increase in prices. So these are the types of conversations that we have on the front end with you. If, let's say, you're coming from California to South Carolina, you may not need to be in as fired up as a hurry, because prices are, you know, really going up in California. However, if you're moving from South Carolina to California, you might want to get there a little faster before prices continue to go up. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. And, you know, if an agent here talks to you about that, this is where we get this information, is through these types of slides and this type of information, because we want you to be the most educated, ready to go buyer or seller that you can. Slide 70 is our mortgage rates. Right now, mortgage rates are phenomenal. Basically, they're giving away money. So go buy a house because the interest rates are so flipping good. And then FICO score. I always like this slide because sometimes people think they have to have a phenomenal credit score to buy a house, and this proves that is not true. I mean, in a perfect world, we all would have a great credit score, but sometimes that doesn't happen, and it's okay. We can help you through that. It's not a big deal. We got you. So the other thing I wanted to show you are our local absorption rates. And normally when I go over this with a client, they don't know what I'm talking about. So we're going to look for Greenville. This is the Greenville MLS, and these are the most up-to-date absorption rates because we just got them in today. Depending on the price point that you're looking, will tell me if you're in a buyer's market, a normal market, or a seller's market. So anything up to 4 months is a buyer's market. So in Greenville, up to about $300,000. If you're a buyer, hate it for you because it's a seller's market. If you're a seller, this is a wonderful time because the inventory is really low. If you are in the 300 to 550 price point, we're at a normal market. There's plenty of buyers to sellers, so we're at a normal market for that price point. And then anything over 550, the buyer can be uppity. That is a buyer's market. So you have the control at that point. Things are a little different in Spartanburg. Let's go over here and look at Spartanburg. So we are a buyer's market up to, or excuse me, a seller's market up to about 250. And then from 250 to 3, you're a normal market. From 3 to 350, you're a seller's market. And then 350 and above, you're a buyer's market. So I know this can be really confusing, but again, that's what we're here to educate you about. When you work with one of us here at the Expert Real Estate Team, we're here to teach you what these things mean and how it impacts you and how it impacts your money. So let us get you in here. If you're thinking of buying, let us get you in here and have a sit down and talk about all these things and get you what I called a squeaky, shiny buyer, because you can be competitive with all the other buyers out there if you got your ducks in a row. So meaning your mortgage ducks, you know, getting all your paperwork together that the lender's going to need. That stuff takes time. And I mean, if we can get you credit approved through the lender, that's like you got a bucket full of cash and you're just walking around going, okay, seller, who wants it? So we want you to be that type of buyer. At any rate, reach out to us. If you like what we're talking about, hit subscribe wherever the button is there. Hit subscribe, and we look forward to updating you next month, and we will see you then.